So next up, we've got a special guest from Stonyfield Farm. She's a nutritionist here in the area, an avid runner herself, and she's going to go through some things that'll kind of help you take care of the inside of the body and help make sure to give you some great advice to get you ready for the run. So without further ado, from Stonyfield Farm, Mary Kennedy.
You guys just listened to a great talk about training and totally focused on your running. And I want to talk about what I think is sort of the forgotten part of nutrition when we're training. And that's just everyday nutrition. So just standing out there while you guys came in, I heard at least 10 people say, "Oh great, a yogurt, that's my dinner." And that's the thing that I'm talking about, right? So you guys you're logging hundreds of miles, an hour upon hour, trying to get the right workout in and really train your body for the race, but you're not focused as much on the nutrition that you need every day. And I just want to spend the next few minutes kind of getting you guys focused on that. You know, you've got 50 plus days to the race, you've got plenty of time to work on your nutrition, and it makes a huge difference. You know, now is the time, as we talked about, your miles are really high, you're exhausted. This is when good nutrition matters. And it's going to make you not only get through your runs better, but be more energized so you actually want to go out and do your runs. So in order to frame this conversation, I want you guys to think of yourselves, think of your body like a car. It's the best analogy out there, right? So over the last several weeks and months, you guys have been out there training and logging hundreds of miles to get yourselves into this high-performance machine so that you can tackle the 26.2 miles from Hopkinton to Boston. But in order to make that machine go, you need fuel, right? And for us and for our bodies, food is our fuel. Now, would you ever take a car out when it's on empty and try to make it go? You wouldn't, right? Would you take your Porsche out and fill it with water and try to make it go? No. So that's why we need to focus on high quality fuel for you guys and not just cramming it in right before your run. You know, it doesn't work that way. It's not, you know, like a final exam, you can't cram your nutrition in. If you eat enough gel before your run, you're not going to feel as good as you could if you really were diligent about getting in good nutrition all the time. So one of the things to really focus on is achieving the right balance of fuel. So how many people in this room actually know how many calories you guys should be having every day? Just show of hands. So, wow. So you guys are out there doing all your hill work and getting all your training in, but no one knows how much fuel you guys need to really be optimally fueled for your runs. So you all have homework. Okay? Your homework is to go online. There's a million different resources out there. MyFitnessPal is one of them. And put your information in. It's going to be different for every single person in this room, but based on how much you're training and what your gender is and how old you are, you all need a different number of calories. And it's really important that you know about what that number is so that you're getting enough fuel in your body every day. Okay? And then the next portion of that is achieving the right balance of fuel. So you guys know there are 3 types of fuel that we use to fuel our bodies. Who knows what they are? Exactly. So carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Carbohydrates are going to be your main source of fuel. This is not the time to fool around with a low-carb diet. Carbohydrates are the cornerstone of what you need to energize and fuel your body through all of your runs. You also need fat. You can't go and eliminate fat from your diet. You need to make sure you're getting enough fat every day. And protein is important too. One of the misconceptions is that protein is the key nutrient for every athlete. And yes, it's extremely important, especially as you're going out, you're training hard, and your muscles need to repair and recover. You absolutely need protein for that. But it shouldn't be just all protein with a little bit of carbs and fat. Carbohydrates truly are the main source of your energy. So you need the right amount and you need the right balance of fuel. But the problem is you don't go to the store and buy a box of carbs, right? You're not going to the cafeteria and ordering a side of protein. You have to buy food. And sometimes it's hard to take all of these numbers and really translate it into what that means for you when you've got to get your meals. And the My Plate visual, I think, is a really great one for you to keep in your mind when you're going to choose foods. So basically what the My Plate graphics tells you is that every time you sit down to a meal, half of your plate should be fruits and vegetables. Half of your plate being fruits and vegetables is getting you an extremely nutrient-dense source of carbohydrates. They're not high in calories. You can eat a lot of them, so you'll be full. You'll feel satiated at the end of your meal, but you're also getting the vitamins and minerals that you need to top off your fuel sources. So keeping half of your plate being fruits and vegetables. You need grains with your meal, so about a quarter of your plate being grains and a quarter of your plate being protein. And then the dairy is on the side too as a good reminder. Dairy is a great source of protein. Having yogurt or having milk with every meal is a great way to ensure that you're getting enough protein, and it's a really quality source of protein. So as you guys are going out and you're choosing meals, and I know we're all very busy, and training for a marathon is like a part-time job that you're adding to your already busy schedule, but when you go out and make food choices, keep this visual in mind. This is what your meals should look like. But not every carb is the same. Not every grain is the same, right? And so now we want to talk about the quality of the fuel that you're putting in your body. And this chart here, the foods in green are the ones that you should really focus on, and the foods in orange are things that you should kind of stay away from a little bit. So when I talk about high quality carbohydrates, I already said fruits and vegetables are at the top of that list. And I want to emphasize that we're talking about whole fruits and whole vegetables. A concept to keep in mind when we're thinking about food and quality food is as close to the natural source that the food is, or the natural form it's in, the better it is for you. So an apple is better than applesauce, right? And so the closer to the natural food you have, the better quality that food is for you. So focus on whole fruits, whole vegetables. Talking about whole grains. So a grain is not a grain, right? They're not all equal. Whole grains are really important. Who knows how to spot a whole grain? So if I'm picking up a package of bread, how do I know it's a whole grain package of bread? Anyone here know?
100% whole wheat.
And where are we looking for whole wheat? So this is really important. It's important that you're looking for the word whole or whole wheat at the beginning of the ingredients part of the label. It can say like whole wheat on the outside of the package, on the front, but that may not ensure that it's really made with whole grains. Whole grains are one of the trickiest things out there. Even though we're told to make half our grains whole, they can be really hard to spot. And so really make sure you're looking at the ingredients label and making sure that in the first 1 or 2 ingredients that you see the word whole there. Whole grains are grains in their natural form. They come with all of the vitamins and minerals naturally there. They're generally high in fiber, which is really important, and they're a much better choice than refined grains. So making small changes like switching your white pasta to whole wheat pasta, getting pizza with whole grain crust, those are small changes you can make that will make a big difference and really help you improve your nutrition. Getting high quality sources of protein. So you're not always putting a steak on your plate, but you're looking for things like fish. There's vegetarian sources. You can have yogurt, nuts, eggs are good sources of protein. Making sure that you're getting some protein with every meal, and you're making it a variety, right? So we get in a very strict routine of we get up, we do our runs, we reach for the same thing over and over and over again. Adding variety to what you're having every day is going to make a lot of difference. It's how you can get the whole package of vitamins and minerals and everything that your body really needs. And then using this as a guide. These are some sources of healthy proteins. This is a great way to help guide your food choices. And the healthy fats, so having olive oil as a salad dressing is a great choice. Some things as runners that you guys want to stay away from that, sometimes mistakes we can make. So sugar-sweetened beverages are things we shouldn't have all the time. Gatorade is fantastic to have while you're on the course. It doesn't need to be served at breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So water, thinking about water as the most important supplement that you can have. You need to be hydrated. If you start a run and you're not hydrated to begin with, you're already starting at a disadvantage. So making sure that you're having water regularly throughout the day. And now is the time to start things like that. And as I said, staying away from refined grains and, the desserts and things, they're all fine to have, but making sure that those are the things that you have, just some of the time. But we're really focused on the foods in green over here. Okay? And the other thing to really pay attention to, so now all of you, almost none of you said that you knew how many calories you were supposed to have in a day. So once you figure that out, the next step is to be sure that you have a balance, right? So I want the phrase, I'm a runner so I can eat whatever I want, to stop here, right? We're not going to utter those words anymore. You are runners. You're out there, you're training so hard, you've put so much effort into your workouts. You don't want to ruin it by ending up at the local bakery after every run and getting 90% of your calories through empty calories of muffins and desserts and things like that. Yes, you're out there, you're burning calories. You need more calories, that's true. But you need those calories to come from really nutrient-rich sources because in addition to calories, your body needs all those vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and things to be performing the best it can be. So save those treats for once you've gotten all the energy you need from good foods, save those as treats. But don't think that you can just eat whatever you want and not count things. It matters. It matters a lot. And the last thing you don't want to be gaining a pound or two here and there. That's not going to help your training at all. So really understand how many calories you need and make sure you're getting them from high quality, good sources of food. So some tips for success. The first one is to start with small changes, right? Any behavior change we do, it's not going to happen overnight. I do not believe that all of you are going to leave this room and magically eat perfectly, right? That's setting yourself up to fail. But what you can do is make one small change. So for those of you that walked in the room and said yogurt was your dinner, maybe you could leave here and get some other, some fruits and vegetables and things to supplement your yogurt for dinner. If you typically skip breakfast, start by having some fruit or some whole grain toast for breakfast. Don't think that you need to change everything overnight because you're going to feel frustrated. But start with some small changes. If you typically have highly processed foods, try to shift over to having more, natural whole fruits and whole vegetables, things like that. The second is to plan ahead. We just heard a whole session about planning for your training. You guys are poster children for planning. You have figured out how to plan training from wherever mileage you were to getting to 26.2 miles through one of the worst winters that we've had. You know how to plan. So add the nutrition side into your training planning. It's really important. It's almost as important as it is to get out there for your run to also be sure that you're refueling and recovering in your body with good foods and making sure that your fuel stores are topped off at the beginning of every single run, not just your long runs. And the final thing is include friends and family. So I think that marathon training sometimes can be a very selfish activity. We have to focus so much on ourselves. It takes us away from friends and family. In a lot of ways, puts other responsibilities on our friends and family so that we have the time to train. But nutrition is a place that you can include everyone in. So as you change your habits, as you make better choices, include your friends and family in that. One of the best ways is by cooking. None of us cook as much as we used to or as much as we should, and cooking can be a really great way to bring people together and to share good nutrition tips. And it doesn't have to be the same thing over and over again. There's a lot of great recipes that are out there, and when you guys came in, Stonyfield does have a recipe, cooking with yogurt, something that you guys probably don't think that much about. You think about eating yogurt from a cup. There's a lot of great ways to use yogurt in lots of meals. This is a recipe for a vegetable lasagna, getting your vegetables there. You can use whole grain pasta in this, and then having some yogurt for protein. Just be creative with it, have fun with it. Nutrition should be fun. It's the reward for you guys going out and running. It's just rewarding yourself with good quality food. So good luck with everything, and I'm here to answer any questions. But make sure you guys all get your calorie count when you leave here. It's your homework, okay?